All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to unpack something pretty profound, a re-examination of a core concept from the Quran. We'll see how one specific interpretation shifts the entire focus from a private, internal state to very real, tangible actions that have huge implications for all of us.
So we're starting off with this incredibly stark message from Surah Az-Zukhruf. There's no gray area here. It's a serious, non-negotiable statement that really sets the tone for everything we're about to discuss. And that's the key, The source material presents this not as some kind of metaphor, but as a direct, straight-up statement of fact. And that certainty really forces us to ask a pretty urgent question: who exactly is this message talking about? To really get what this message is about, we have to understand the words being used. The verse speaks of the criminals. So the first step is to figure out what that word actually means in this context. Who is the criminal? And look at this definition. It's all about what someone does. The mujrim isn't defined by what they're thinking or feeling inside. Nope, it's about the external chaos and fear they create. Their actions destabilize the community and harm others. It's a social act. Okay, so if that's the criminal, someone who spreads fear and chaos, it begs the question, right? Who is their total opposite? And the answer, well, it might not be what you think.
This is where things get really interesting. We often think we know the answer, but this interpretation really challenges that conventional wisdom. It asks us to take a fresh look at a word we thought we knew, the concept of iman.
Now, the common definition you'll often hear for iman is this idea of an internal acknowledgement of God. It's usually seen as this private, personal state of mind, right? Something you hold inside yourself. But the source for this whole explainer, from Khalid al-Sayyad Hassan, proposes something completely different. It suggests that this internal definition totally misses the mark, and instead offers a meaning that is all about action. And here it is. This is the big shift. Amen is redefined not as a state of mind, but as the act of granting security to other people. It's about making others feel safe. It's something you do out in the world. In fact, the source points out that the verb yu'min literally means to grant security. You can see how this changes everything, right? If iman is an action, then the person who embodies it, the mu'min, is also going to be defined by their actions. It totally transforms their entire identity. So the mu'min becomes the grantor of security. And this sets up this perfect, powerful contrast. You've got the mujrim on one side, the criminal, who terrorizes people, and on the other, you have the mu'min, the grantor of security, who makes people safe. It's that simple. One takes security away, the other one provides it. But wait, it builds even further from there. The source is quick to point out that the Quran doesn't just stop with granting security. This active principle is almost always paired with another crucial component. Being a grantor of security is the foundation for sure, but there's another piece to the puzzle. And that other piece is الصالحات, or righteous works. The message is clear. Being a grantor of security is huge, but it's not the full picture. You also have to be someone who has done things that are considered righteous. Which, of course, leads us to ask, okay, so what are these righteous works? What actually counts? Is it about personal devotion, or is it something bigger? And this is where the source makes a really fascinating distinction. It draws a line between personal acts of worship, things like prayer and fasting, and these righteous works. Now, personal worship is great. It benefits you on your own spiritual path. But righteous works, in this context, are defined specifically as actions that help the whole community. Okay, so let's tie this all together. What does this massive shift in thinking actually mean for an individual? Well, it completely reframes your purpose. It's no longer just about your inner state. It becomes an active social mission. Really, it boils down to this. It's a shift from an internal state to an external action. It's a move from focusing only on personal piety to ensuring public security. And maybe most importantly, it's a shift from who you are inside to what you do for the people around you. And that's the bottom line here. According to this interpretation, the highest spiritual ranks, they aren't just for people who focus on their own personal worship. They're for those who combine two incredibly powerful actions: granting security to others and actively working for the good of their society. So this leaves us with a really powerful, maybe even challenging final thought. If we take this framework seriously, the most important question is no longer about our internal state. It becomes a question about our impact on the world. What security are you granting to others?
And what good are you actively doing for your community?